Ladies and gentlemen, right about now, let's cross over all the way to the UK and talk to our correspondent in the person of Effie Wacha from Fine Wine Sound. Effie Wacha, she's got something to say about the latest news in terms of juggling and also clashes. Expert in these areas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cross over to the UK and talk to Effie Wacha of Fine Wine Sound and also Fine Wine Promotion.
Lock it down. Hitz FM 103.9. Can't touch your dial.
Big up yourself, Lagazee on Yaad Settingz Hitz 103.9 FM. This is your girl, Effie Wacha from Fine Wine Sound out to the UK. Here to present you the latest dubplate juggling and clashes around the world. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we had the biggest clash over in the UK, in London, Southeast London. Platinum Cartel from Southeast London versus Guiding Star out of France. Ladies and gentlemen, what a controversy. Jesus Christ, Father God. Ladies and gentlemen, 30-40 people were there in the venue there. However, it seems like it was kind of biased from what Guiding Star is saying, that it is biased because they never got the voting. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Platinum Cartel took the clash. All right, we'll leave it there. Let's move over to the US now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ, what a thing here. Yo, we had Royalty Sound versus King Fergal. Ladies and gentlemen, that place for flying left, right, center. We had the sound them running up and down and the MC and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, what a clash this early of the morning. Martima was flying left, right, and center. Sanchez until the end of tune for tune. But may I tell you, in my surprise, I wasn't even expecting this, that Royalty Sound took the clash and won this clash here. In my surprise, like, whoa, King Fergal, big up yourself. Royalty Sound, Don Kerry, big up yourself. Manners and respect, big up to both sounds here. But you know what? Look out also for King Fergal and Tech 9. They got their, everyone know about King Fergal and Tech 9. They've got their originally known as the I Obtain Clash. Look out for the event coming up. But however, look at next week. We're going back to London. I'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the UK Rumble, and that's going to be the biggest clash I'll be attending in the UK. So look out for UK Rumble. Big up yourself, King Lagazee, and big up yourself, Ghana. Kaboom!
Easy. Down. Hitz FM 103.9. Can't touch your dial. Lock it down. Hitz FM 103.9. Can't touch your dial.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are building the vibe right now. Cross over all the way to South Africa and talk to Lion Paw. You understand me? Yo! We're talking to Lion Paw right now. And I believe I have Lion Paw on the line. Lion! Yo! Lion!
Wagwan.
Why? Are you sleeping?
No man, me there man.
What's the time? What's the time now in South Africa?
It's 10:30.
It's 10:30.
Yeah.
All right. It's
just after 10:30. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's exactly 36 minutes going into the R8 here in Ghana. You know what I mean? All right. So Lion Paw, I want you to listen to this before we continue the conversation, Lion.
Right.
A lot of people classify this your statement as unfortunate as someone who is an elder in the sound system culture arena in Africa. How come you how come you open your mouth into any convenience radios to say this? Now I want you to listen to what you said, then we'll go into discussion. Then I'm going to ask you what the people are saying. Listen carefully, Lion.
All right.
Yo, Skipper, manners and respect. Listen, bro, I saw your message. I know you've been bawling out about African artists who are not giving doublets, and also the youth there, Kwaku, you complaining about the team, his management team not responding and all that. I see these things differently, and I think we as the sound man on the continent are to blame for things like that. Don't you think that it's because we have actually not elevated the clash culture on the continent to be at a level where the African artists can actually notice? I just think that's what it is, bro. I think the moment clash starts to be prominent on the continent of Africa, and you start to hear sounds from Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, wherever on the continent starts clashing, and then dropping one or two African artists in there. Every artist who's on the continent is gonna want a piece of that. Right now, it's because we as Soundman, we are going with nothing, brethren. So if I was an artist from Africa, I would not give no boy no doublet. And the reason not because I don't want to give doublets, but there is no reason why we should give a doublet right now. Because we are Soundman, we are going with zero. We're going with zero. Don't forget, what Dynamic has done is something that's unique. It's an isolated situation, right? Dynamic has made a lot of waves, yes, but I am not sure if the African artists are actually paying attention, because this is not happening at home, brethren. Imagine if that clash was happening in Ghana right now, for example, and then you have like a world clash in Ghana. Every bomber-clad African artist would have want a piece of it, because it's not our culture. We haven't made it a culture. We could easily have made it a culture because we are the last frontier. But brethren, we don't. That's the problem. We don't know how to do these things. We don't know how to elevate it to a level where it makes sense for these artists to voice doublets for us. That is what I think the problem is. These guys don't see that as an opportunity for anything. Jamaican artists see it as an opportunity to bust. The African artists don't need no sound clash for bust, brethren. They don't need us right now because we are going with nothing, yo. Trust me, General.
Lock it down. Hitz FM 103.9. Can't touch your dial.
Lion, are you there?
I'm there, man.
I hope you are not sleeping.
No, man.
All right, so tell me, why this statement, Lion?
Well, listen, man. Sometimes we need to call a spade a spade. Sometimes we need to get to a point where we do a reality check. And I do understand why some sound man would feel away with a statement like that, but let's be realistic about this, right? Let's take one step back. If you look at the amount of reggae that's consumed on the continent, like literally the amount of countries from Africa that listens to reggae, I stand corrected, but I would say that number is over the regions of 70 to 80%. I would like to actually round it off to 100%, but that's why I say I stand corrected. So to play it safe, I would say around about, I would say just over 70% of the countries in Africa, they listen to reggae music religiously. And when I say reggae, I'm also putting dancehall music in there, for the sake of people who would like to separate that. Right. And when we then look at globally, you've got countries like Japan. You've got obviously a lot of countries in Europe. You've got the USA. This country, the places where reggae is consumed and listened to. All these other places, apart from Africa, they have a vibrant sound system culture that is happening. If you are to call, if they say call the top 10 sounds right now in the world, chances are you might include a European sound or a Japanese sound, right? Like I said, apart from what Dynamic has done, you will have to include Dynamic now in the top 10. And Dynamic is standing in one corner by himself, represent the entire continent of Africa, right? So my statement was to try and simply say this. we haven't shown that we also connected to the world when it comes to the culture. We have sound systems on the continent, sporadic places where you find a sound here, a couple of sound man in Gambia, a couple of sound man in Zimbabwe, a couple of sound man in Ghana, and so forth. But we haven't actually created a culture of sound system on the continent that needs or that draws any African artist's attention. So my statement was to say, what I was trying to say is simple. Until such a time where we get to a point where we have a platform or we have a vibrant sound system movement going on the continent, African artists are not going to look at us, Bridget. They're not going to look at us as a sound man. You have to understand one thing, There's a lot of artists who give sound man doublets for free out there. Right? There's a lot of artists who give soundman for free doublets. You know about this. You know some selectors who tell you, yeah, let me get this doublet free now from this artist. Why? Because the artists, they see the need for that soundman to get a free doublet, because by this guy getting a free doublet, he is stretching or exposing this artist's name, and then that our artists get a pass. African artists don't need a pass from soundman right now, Richard, because there is nothing that we are doing that can attract them to give us dubs. So that was simply what my statement was. My statement was simply say,
all right.
Yeah.
So, Lion, let me chip in with this one here.
Right.
In 2019, you won the African Cup Clash, right?
Right.
All right. So, as you won the African Cup Clash, what exactly did you do with that win?
So what? So repeat that. What exactly?
I said in 2019.
Right.
You were the title holder for African Cup Clash, right? What exactly did you do with that win?
With that win?
Yes.
Nothing.
You did nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, why?
Right. So listen to the title, Africa Cup Clash.
Yes.
Right? Africa Cup Clash. You tell me, do you remember the sounds who were in that clash? Do you remember the sounds who were in that clash?
I think Mighty Ducks was part, right?
Mighty Ducks, I don't think he was part of the last one.
Okay, so who and who were on board?
All right, to cut the long story short, the sounds who were there were not sounds from all over Africa. It was predominantly South African sounds. The sound, there was supposed to be sound coming from Jamaica, who himself. There was Mo Mafia, I think, was involved. I can't remember the other sounds off my hand. But what I'm saying is, even though the title is called Africa Cup Clash, it's not a true representation of the entire continent.
So it was a selected few sounds from South Africa, which was a cheap win for you, right?
Exactly. It was a cheap win for me.
So you couldn't do anything with it.
That's why you've never heard me ball out my mouth and say, yo, skipper, Semi's an African champion, Richard. No. I will be an African champion until me boss King Lagazee head, or me boss Mighty Vanau head, or me boss some next brethren from another next African country head. That is what is called an Africa Cup brethren. When they play Africa Cup in football, which country did it? Which countries are represented?
Almost all.
Not the whole continent.
Yes.
My point exactly. Hence, I'm saying, if we're gonna look at, do you think Shatawale would have looked at me and said, "You're lying. Well, I don't play here, so." No. But if I was in a position to have clashed Lagazee or Okeo, a next brethren from Gambia or from Kenya, from all over the continent, at least Shatawale standby would have looked at it and said, that brethren are going with something. Yeah, well, I don't play here.
All right. So looking into South Africa now, look, there was a Red Bull culture clash in South Africa. It means South Africa are going with a lot of things when it comes to sound system culture, right? But we don't see South Africa making a lot of noise about it. And even on the Red Bull culture clash, African Storm sound, Just Hit sound was there. So I am still wondering why the noise is not coming from that area. It looked like South Africa is kind of silent.
Look, I think when you look at the Red Bull culture clash, you can't put it in the same conversation as our normal sound system clash. Because remember, a Red Bull culture clash is a clash of music, not necessarily a clash of reggae or dancehall sounds. You know, you find that there's different genres that are clashing in the Red Bull culture clash. So it suffices to say that we can't really, say that the Red Bull culture clash would be a measure of how the reggae is in South Africa. That's not fair to call that a measure. If you listen to
Lion,
if you remember, it was
Lion.
Yeah.
Red Bull culture clash entails with all the genres. You understand me?
Right.
And that was the main reason why we had the African Storm sound in there, right?
Right.
I hope on the night they did play some dubplate, right?
Right.
Good. So it means that there was a representation of clash. This is culture clash. So it means that reggae dancehall must use that as an advantage and run with it. But we are stagnant.
But you're 100% right in saying that. But remember, it's not only African Storm that needs to be growing reggae on the continent. It takes the likes of African Storm. So your question should actually be, African Storm should be part of the whole entire movement to take the sound system culture to a different level in Africa. I think that should be the statement, rather than saying they should single-handedly be driving it. Because I think there's
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, Lion, because what I'm talking about right now is the representation. If we have a sound system which represented around that particular time in that culture clash, it means that the people are getting the kind of idea in terms of what clash is and all that. So in this manner, I feel like, all right, African Storm should even run with it and say, all right, we're part of this now. Africa, let's go. Lion Power, this, that. You understand me? But there is nothing going on.
Look, I can't speak for African Storm. I wouldn't want to speak for them, and I wouldn't like to comment on that behalf as to what they should be doing or what they shouldn't be doing. But what I'm still going to say is that this whole thing about the culture itself needs a collective effort from everybody on the continent. I think the pandemic has shown us that Africa is rich when it comes to sounds that are voicing doublets or sounds that do have doublets, sounds that actually been existing for a while. The pandemic has actually reset that whole thing for us. And I think you and I have had a conversation where I've always said to you, look at what has happened in Japan. Look at what has happened in Europe. Look at what has happened in the USA. Where do you think the sound system culture is going next? I've always believed that because of what's happening on the continent right now, that it hasn't been explored to a level where it is in the same, it's spoken the same as the other places of the world. This is the next frontier when it comes to sound system culture. Hence, I keep saying that it's incumbent on us that are on the ground to have to be putting this movement on a go or trying to attract sponsorship and promoters. But the only way we can do that is we have to be active, Bridget. We are not active as Soundman. Like, the only time you're probably going to, your listeners in Ghana would know about Lion Paw is now me talking to you, and some people might be asking themselves, oh, that's why they say, because they've never heard me play, right? The same thing like when people see or hear King Lagazee from this part of the world, them asking the same questions, you know? Until we get to a point where this whole thing is now known, like you got a Lagazee International that is known in every corner of the continent. Like right now, everyone who follows reggae in dancehall music, on the continent of Africa, if you go and mention the name Shashamani, or if you go and mention the name Dynamic, people would know who that we are talking to. I mean, we're talking about, right?
Definitely.
But those two, what they've done, they can't do it alone, King.
Definitely.
They cannot do it alone. There is a lot of us that also needs to chip in. Hence, the statement I made, as much as people took it the wrong way, it was simply to say, yo, wake up, man. Look at us. And it's a statement that it does not exclude me. It includes me in that. You know, you look at us. We're not doing. You and I are talking. We are trying something in the background. We're trying to do something. You know, to try and get this thing to be seen globally. That's what I meant by that statement. So it's never to be sound money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to Lion Paw International, all the way from South Africa, one of the biggest sound system when it comes to sound system culture in South Africa. And he made that statement that a lot of people were asking me, Lagazee, why do you even have to play that on a radio and all that? And I'm like, yo, listen, opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. You understand me? I can't hold man against his opinion. But you've heard what the man said, per the explanation he's given and all that. He said he is not excluding himself. He is talking and he's inclusive. You know what I mean? So if we are talking, we don't have to take him out. He is part of the same thing which is going on, and nothing is going on in Africa pertaining to reggae and dancehall. You understand me? When it comes to sound system culture. All right, Lion. Before I leave you finally, for you to rest because it's late over there in South Africa. If you look into Africa now, you know, clashes don't go on, things don't work out. I don't know whether promoters are scared to invest in sound system culture and all that. What do you think we should do as a continent where it will attract promoters to come on board and say, all right, like how I see a lot of promoters in Africa organize shows and they book artists and all that, but they don't book sound system. From Ghana to Nigeria is just a stone throw. You understand me? When you go up on a flight, it's 45 minutes to Nigeria. But listen, we have Rolling Tender in Nigeria. He put on clashes and he basically invites sounds from America. The only sound he's invited that I know is Dynamic. You understand? From South Sudan. But normally he invites Tech 9 and all them boys there from America to come and play in Nigeria. And we are in Ghana here, you are in South Africa, and next man is in Zimbabwe, Uganda, Gambia, full of tunes, and Rolling Tender wouldn't reach out and say, all right, let me do this with you guys, this and that and that. What is going on? What exactly do you think should be the way forward?
Yo, bro, I think this thing is simple, man. If I was a promoter, if I was Rolling Thunder right now, I would not risk my money in putting into sounds that I haven't had play, right? How do you invest in something that you don't even know the type of production or type of product they actually carry? So until such a time where we feel that we can attract promoters, as a sound man, we have to take it upon ourselves and start promoting each other. You know, this whole thing of promoting each other started in Jamaica. They still do it up to this day. In Japan, it's very common. You promote me, I promote you. It's simple, Bridget. That's how we gotta need to do. Until we have a vibrant, I keep going back to culture, because listening to something, reggae music is something that we borrowed from the Jamaicans. We don't want to go into the details of the whole concept of reggae music, but we have borrowed a culture from Jamaica. And the way we've borrowed it, right, we borrowed it as we just listen to the music, we love the culture and all that, but we haven't made it our own, like what the Japanese have, like what the Europeans have. We haven't. So until we get to a point where we can make it a culture that's vibrant on its own, no promoter is going to put money in it. So in simple terms, it's incumbent upon us as Soundman to know each other on the continent and start promoting each other, holding dances on our own. And then, put out productions, put out mixes, put out videos. Let be known. Let the promoters see all this. And once you've got stuff that is on the ground that is seemingly sellable, then only can you talk about getting promoters on board, Richard. Until such a time, we are on our own.
I remember Chin said something. Chin said when he started this business, there was a time when, that liquor thing are going with Panther and then Trooper. You understand me?
Right.
Basically it's a healthy rivalry that goes on between them and that energize the fans want to see them clash. You understand me? So
Right.
I am thinking that full-time Africans or soundmen in Africa should stop carry feelings so that some of these things can be arranged. You understand me? And then
Right.
it is healthy for the game. You understand me? Imagine if the attention is on Lion Paw in South Africa and Lagazee is to reach there, and there is a little bit of thing going on between Lion Paw and Lagazee Sound International. And South Africa want to see that, and also Ghana want to see that. It's a win-win situation for both of us, because we do it in South Africa, we do it in Ghana, and then we can carry it somewhere else. But nothing like that is going on. Look like I see Zimbabwe is the Zimbabweans doing their own thing in their little corner. You understand me? And then recently,
Yeah.
Is it after lockdown? I saw the Gambians also try to do something between Lucky Bob, Silver Mountain, and then Timeless Sound, some little thing in them corner in them country, which doesn't travel nowhere, and people don't hear about it and all that. It's so sad. It's about time. I feel we need to start doing things. We need to start doing things like collaboratively. You understand me? So that if
On the way.
Lagazee is here and Lagazee can handle it, to say, yo, Lagazee come in. If Silver Mountain can handle it, we say Silver Mountain come in. If Lion Paw can handle it, we say Lion Paw come in.
Yo, Lagazee, we are blessed to be alive in these times, bro, where social media technology is on our fingertips. Talk is cheap, King. Talk is cheap. Promoters are always looking for where to put their money. Until I sit here and I can't believe in 2022 we haven't got a vibrant culture of sound system with the amount of reggae that is consumed on this continent, with the amount of artists that do reggae music that this continent has produced. I promise you, it's sad to say the least, and that's why I said we need to catch a wake up. We need to start doing things that can attract these people with money. There is nobody, Richard. You know that.
All right.
Reggae has always been the music for the continent, and at the same time, you know that the powers that be have always tried to sideline reggae. So this culture still cannot come from the top, man. This whole thing, this movement has to be driven by us from the bottom up, until we get it to a level where we can attract promotions, we can attract that. Until that does happen, you and I are going to be sitting here saying the same thing.
All right.
In the next 10, 20 years, and we're not going with nothing.
All right. So, Lion Paw, I have a question for you.
Right.
This question is coming from the tour manager of Steel Paws, right?
Right.
The tour manager for Steel Paws. He's got this question for you. Listen carefully, Lion Paw.
Right.
He said, and I quote, "Ask Lion Paw. He says he's won a competition and did nothing with it. He says African sound systems are not elevating the culture. What does he expect the African sound systems to do to elevate the culture? And it is the sound systems that need to do something, or promoters." He said, "Is it the sound system that need to do something, or promoters who organize sound system culture clashes and shows?"
Right. Okay. So that's a very good question, and he's right in saying that. And I think let me just reiterate that when I meant I did nothing with it. I didn't mean in the sense that I set Bandit Trophy and undo Bandit Trophy and not do nothing with in trying to at least move the sound system culture in a certain direction. I think if you remember, I started also promoting the sound system culture here in South Africa, which was the Jugglers Rumble for 45 sounds. So we're doing small conceptual clashes in South Africa, which it was my brainchild where I started just doing small little clashes. But I think what prompted my comment that I sent you a voice note last week was based on the actual highest level of the culture itself. So what we are doing on the ground, I think every country is already doing that. If you say 45 shootout, every country in Africa know about 45 shootouts. Sound clashes are happening pretty much every other week. So I think I just need to explain that. What I meant that I didn't do anything is for me to say, you know what, if this is the concept that we need to be running with. Obviously, I'm saying this not to say it's not my idea, with the Africa Cup Clash. And I'm hoping the promoter would listen to something like it, the promoter of that event. If you want to really brand yourself as Africa Cup, you have to start looking outside one country and include everybody on the continent. Otherwise, there is no merit to this. Hence, I'm saying to you, yes, it was a win for me. And it was an expected win because of the sounds that were built on the night. If I had lost that, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation. And my comment saying that I did nothing with it was to simply say, you know what? I would have wanted to see more of that at a larger scale than how it happened. So it's a fair question, and I think there's quite a lot that can improve from that event. It's a very good concept, and that question came at the right time that also the promoter could be considering investing into something bigger. I think you and I would know that the promoter has been talking to people about that to try and elevate it to a much better level that represents the entire continent.
All right. So again, Scully Dread is asking that, but who is the highest level of the culture that needs to do the something that you're talking about?
The people with doublets, man. This culture is defined by people with doublets. If you have no doublet, you can't have this conversation. This is a doublet culture. If the sound man with doublets can know each other from the continent of Africa, right? Those are the sounds that needs to be organized in these clashes that we always talk about. If Dynamic didn't have no doublets, we wouldn't be talking about no Dynamic. If Shashamane had no doublet, we wouldn't be talking about no Shashamane. If Lagazee had no doublets, you wouldn't be relevant in Ghana. If Lion Poet had no doublet, I wouldn't be relevant in this part of the world. So those are the sound man that I'm talking about. To say, you know what, if we have to get it to a par level as your So Supreme, as your Code Red, as your Kilimanjaro, them sounding, we have to be able to represent this culture at a level where we can shoot doublet all night. It's as simple as that. We're talking about a doublet culture, aren't we? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Real Stillman. We're talking about sounds that have managed to elevate their level from like a 45, playing 45s to a level where sound can play doublets all night.
Definitely.
That's what we are talking about.
I would like to say big respect to the elder Shashamani who just checked in upon the life. Lion Pa!
The big man that. The big man that. Papa, let me put it this way, Lagazee.
Yeah.
Papa Bingi kicked down the door.
Yeah.
Right? Him kicked down the door.
Definitely.
Dynamic ran with it.
Definitely.
So what more can we do? We need to be able to look at what these brothers have done, and we need to emulate what they've done and celebrate what they've done and elevate it across the continent, man. The sound man from every corner of the continent, we have to do something about this.
Yeah. Lion.
Yo.
Lion.
Yo.
You said something that I love so much. You said Shashamani kicked the door in 2009. You understand me?
Yeah.
And in 2018, Dynamic run with it.
Yeah, man. And we must never forget as well that a Shashamane bass Dynamic.
Definitely.
Let that be known. A Shashamane bass Dynamic. We can't forget that. We can't forget where it came from. So we need to respect Shashamane every time, because Shashamane is a sound that has tried to do something at that level on the continent of Africa. And we applaud Dynamic to take it to another level where he is now playing in the world. He's sitting at the big league table. And we are already there. Africa is represented already at the big league table by Shashamane and the likes of Dynamic. Why are we still sitting and doing nothing about this, man? You know, we have to do something. We now know there's a lot of sounds that we didn't know. The pandemic helped us to know that, oh, Jaja, there's a lot of Belgians who are doing this in Gambia. You know, in Kenya, there's enough sounds. You know, in Ghana, in Zimbabwe, South Africa, we know each other now, right? So what we need to do from there now, we need to start having small little sound clashes amongst ourselves. You know, just like me, I want to come to Accra and shoot up King Lagazee. You know, that's the only way where people are going to know about Lampo when we kufa and take off 1, 2, 3 out of your mouth, man. You know?
Easy.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, voila. Don't go yet, man. But
Yeah.
Lion Paw.
Yeah.
Somebody just send me a text and say, Lagazee, seem like Lion Paw is confused because
Yeah.
the next he's talking about African artists shouldn't give soundmen in Ghana dubplate, and now he's talking about the highest level of the culture is sounds with dubplate. So he is inciting artists not to give us dubplate, and now he's talking about dubplate. He is confused. How infused are you, Lion Paul?
Yeah, Bridget. Yeah. Look, my understanding is my statement is very simple.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which part is confusing you. What I'm saying is it's simple, right? I'm going to try and simplify it the best way possible.
Yeah.
If an African artist, like right now, an African artist who is at the highest level of their what you call it? Let's not even beat around the bush. Let's talk about Black Sheriff, for example.
Yeah, Black Sheriff.
Right? That youth are going with something right now. That youth has some bad songs out on the road, right? Just the other day, you played a Busy Signal when him splice up Black Sheriff song. They got Busy in there.
It was a real
He
fix.
didn't splice up, but he remade Black Sheriff song, and then he redid it in the sound system way, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
Definitely.
Right. Why do you think Busy Signal did that in the sound system way? Because Busy knows it's an easy income generating stream, because sound man are go run in and cut doublets though.
Definitely.
Right? And what you wouldn't be surprised right now if Busy hasn't already voiced some doublets.
Yeah.
That song doesn't belong to him.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my statement was simple. If we had a culture here in Africa, which is at a level like it is like in the US or Europe, right? These artists, our artists who are doing Afrobeat, who are doing Afro dance, or African artists on the continent, they would want a piece of it to say, you know what? If we give Lagazee a song, when him clash Lion Paw, him gonna shoot. He's going to South Africa to go clash Lion Paw. Him gonna shoot up Lion Paw with my song, and the whole South African market would know about me song. Shout out to Pato Rankin, because Pato is one youth who understands this culture. Pato is always here in South Africa, and the first place when I find Pato Rankin is African Storm Dance.
So,
no ways.
Lion.
Yeah. So in some
you have Pato Rankin pan dubplate.
No, me don't have Pato Ranking on doublets, but I'm simply saying that I just don't have the links to Pato Ranking, right? But I'm saying that an artist like Pato Ranking, if you were to link him and say, yo, Pato, some minute a doublet, Pato would easily understand the doublet. An artist like Stoneboy would understand the doublet. Shatta Wale, all those artists would understand. Wyrie in Kenya, I've got a few doublets from the youth who's making a lot of noise from Zimbabwe, Natio right now. Those youths, they understand the culture. But I'm saying now, if this movement was so vibrant, that we're keeping it at the same level like what they do war in the East in Europe when you got big sound man string up, or when you have the
better than 1, 2, 3
to keep the Rambos or the all those clashes. African sound man would be running in with doublets in them hand and say, "Youth, hold this one here, so go play it."
Definitely, you're
so
right.
There's no confusion in what I'm saying. What I'm simply saying is, if we had a vibrant movement or a culture going on, the sound system clashing culture, it would be so easy for us to get doublets from African artists.
All right.
It's as simple as that.
All right. Lion, I would like to say thank you so much for your time and space.
Anytime, my brother.
All right, bless.
Yeah,
that was Lion Paw all the way from South Africa. Lion Paw International Sound from South Africa.
Lock it down. Hitz FM 10.